Hi, this is Bishop Craig in Lansing, and this is take one for the week of March 13. Peace be with you. I'm having a busy week, and it's only Monday. Lots of phone calls and emails and conversations about things happening in congregations. So we are grateful to be of every bit of help that we can. On Tuesday, I have a couple of meetings. On Wednesday, we have staff meeting. I have some afternoon appointments, and I am meeting with the church council at a congregation Wednesday evening. On Thursday is the second week of boundary training, and I will be teaching via Zoom at Wartburg Seminary on responding to people who do not see well in worship. How do we do that? So I'm excited and pretty honored to get to do that. And then Thursday afternoon, the Conference of Bishops has its weekly meeting. So that's what my week is like. I should begin to ask your prayers. I'm expecting that in the coming months, we will have as many as 23 congregations in the call process. Some are actively in the call process, and some we know that is on the horizon. So begin now to pray for congregations in the call process. It's interesting that when congregations are in the call process, they want that, understandably, they want that the call process to be the top priority of the bishop and the synod staff, and congregations that are not in the call process and pastors want many other things to be the top priority of the bishop and synod staff. So, my motto or my approach has always been, the mayor of Chicago once said, if the snow doesn't get shoveled and the garbage picked up, you can't do other things. And my approach to synod ministry is if the call processes are not being attended to, synod staffs really can't accomplish anything else. So we've had a good time of not having lots of call processes. We're back where that is beginning again. I have colleagues where, they have 40 and 50 open congregations. So I'm not feeling as panicked as some other bishops might be. It could be worse, I suppose. But know that the call process for the congregations that will be entering it needs to be a bit more of a priority than it has the last couple of years. So the gospel reading, I'm preaching on video, so I don't want to give too much away. The sermon is written, but and you can watch it at noon on Sunday if it is not posted or shown in your congregation. But the gospel, the good news in the gospel reading that I find isn't very much good news. It's almost like the grace that comes from a warning. Jesus says, but unless you repent, you will perish just as they did. Twice he says that. And that's kind of like, the grace of don't touch the hot stove or you will get burned. It doesn't always feel graceful, but it can save us from pain. I have always heard that warning in that reading, but I tell you, unless you repent, you will all perish as they did, kind of aimed squarely at individuals. So unless you get your act together, you're going to fry. I don't hear it that way this year. I hear it as Jesus' pronouncement on humanity and all creation. If we, human beings, do not repent, if we do not turn around and head in a new direction, namely toward God, we will perish. Jesus questions about the Galileans whose blood Pilate mingled with their sacrifices, and the citizens, the 18 citizens of Jerusalem on whom the Tower of Siloam fell. Do you think that they're worse sinners than all the other sinners? Do you think that what's happening to the people of Ukraine is because they are such bad sinners? No. But unless we find a way to end war, we will all perish. And unless we find a way to address climate change, we will all perish. And unless we find a way to protect everyone's right to vote, our democracy will perish. That's not being political. That is just applying Jesus' words to us beyond the individual, to us as a society and as a planet. And the church is not immune to this unless we repent of some of our ways. The church exists to meet my needs, and if I can't have my way, I'm going to withhold money, and we want to do fighting in the church rather than witnessing to Jesus in the world. Unless the church repents some of its ways, the church will perish in irrelevance. So I don't know that I'm finding a lot of grace in this gospel reading, except that Jesus is warning us. Jesus is giving us the chance to heed his warning. And of course, there is the good news that, humanity did not repent of its ways, and Jesus perished on the cross. And Jesus rose to new life and brought all humanity with him. So we may perish, and there will be new life, because our God is a God of giving life. But it will not be the same life, or the old life, or even a life that we even recognize. Maybe if we don't address climate change, it will be the dolphins' turn to rule the earth, or the whales. Maybe if we don't repent of our way of being church, perhaps church will emerge in a brand new way, a marginalized church, a church without buildings. If we do not care for our democracy, maybe what will emerge will be a monarchy, hopefully not an autocracy. So we have a chance to repent and to run toward God, who is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love. And if we repent, we will embrace the life of God. And if we will not, we will perish. And then we can trust Jesus to raise us to some new life that I pray is more like the life God intends. I don't know if this is cheery or not, but that's where I am on Monday. And I'm sorry if it's not cheery enough, but it's honest. Please remember that if you give to our disaster response fund, our Synod Response Fund, Disaster Response Fund, by going to our Synod webpage, any money we receive between now and Easter will go to help the situation in Ukraine and the refugees. So please consider contributing to that. And please read the newsletter, which is coming out on March 15, which will be the same day that the video comes out. But please read the newsletter, because all kinds of information about Synod Assembly is there. And we need to do a better job of telling you to read the information that we provide. So please read the newsletter. And have a great week. This is Bishop Craig, and this is Take One. The peace of the Lord be with you always. Take care.